like I say in my training, it's like we always want, step 20, 21, 22, when we're really, God wants us to be obedient, on the step we're on. I mean, we might be on step 1, and he says, did you do step 2 and 3? So that's the thing. And biblically, just with the mentorship, Paul and Timothy, and even I love the Ruth and Naomi story. Esther had her Mordecai. So those little things, we don't know how important those meetings are in the little obedient steps that God calls us to.
And your actual ministry story, you're in your walk with God, you actually started out with one bag of clothes.
Yes.
And God has taken that and used it and expanded your territory. Share with me how that worked for you.
Yeah, so I was in the U.S. Navy, and I had a spinal injury, and it, upside down our family, and we were a family in need ourselves. And I had this idea, I call it my I Love Lucy idea, to take this one bag of skinny jeans and exchange them at my thrift store for clothes our family needed. Well, the day I went there, the clerk said, I'm sorry, that's not our policy. You can take your donation out back. And I walked out of that door, and I said, Lord, someday, somehow, let me help someone in my situation. And slowly, steadily, and surely, he took that dream and grew it to, we started our first clothing swap at a community center, and then in churches, and then I took over a dormant clothing closet, which grew into a 4,000 square foot facility that expanded to food pantry, a soup kitchen, crisis services, referrals, and now today that the Trading Post Community Care Center in Springville, New York. I'm going to just give a shout out. It's still in operation, meeting 50,000 needs a year.
Wow.
And now today, I handed that off to another ministry, and now I can go and mentor other women, specifically women, to heal and to actually walk out the calling on their lives.
Linette Rainville joining us today here on the Meeting House on Faith Radio. She is the founder of Daughters United, the author of Start Little, Dream Big, as well as Dressing Esther. This is the Meeting House here on Faith Radio. Well, we're here at Blue Lake, Linette, and you have a couple of books that you've actually brought along with you. Start Little, Dream Big, just a fascinating story of your own faithfulness and seeing God work in the small things, and he has given this ministry called Daughters United. And when you look at the outreach of that particular ministry, you talked about it just a bit earlier. What would you say would be the audience, if you will, or the group of people that is most connected, if you will, with Daughters United?
I think it's women raising families. I talk about in my training is you have to find your holy ache. And I found that behind the counter year after year, seeing the needs and seeing the crises in families, and not just the first generation, but then the second generation. I was there long enough to see that. And my heart just broke because there was no way I could meet all those needs. But what I can tell you, and also the churches in my small town, all the churches could not meet all those needs. The pastors could not meet all those needs. But there were people sitting in congregations, mamas and dads and grandmothers, and that's the audience. It's like you have something that you've lived through. You have a pain that God wants to turn into a purpose. But you have the ability to make a difference. If we each one could reach one, we could do the call on our life. And sometimes we let the lies of the enemy stop us. And I think I'm on a mission. That's my passion, or my holy ache, is to not see one of God's gifts or callings be aborted, because God needs us all on the mission field. He needs us all in the field, all in our position, playing in the game, right?